Hi guys, the album I'm sharing with you tonight is Van Morrison's Moondance. Now this was originally recorded in 1969 and it was released on an album in 1970. This is one of Van Morrison's best albums, and it was a critical hit at the time, and in some lists it is considered one of the best albums ever made. I think that list could be very long, but this definitely would be on one of my top lists of albums to listen to. Now, before this album came out, he had another release called Astral Weeks, and it was not a hit. The critics didn't like it. Apparently, the fans didn't really get it because it was more of a folksy stream of consciousness type record. Now, in Moondance, he moved up into the mountains in New York near Woodstock someplace and changed his whole idea of releasing or performing his music. He wanted to appeal to more of a bigger audience because I think he said that everybody needs money or to live or something along those lines. But this album, when this came out, he started doing a more bluesy mixed with folk style, which people really seem to like. Now, I like this. It's one of my favorite Van Morrison records. I think my favorite song off of this is Into the Mystic. I like that even more than Moondance. Another one is Crazy Love. I like that one too. Now, if you really want to check out some earlier, if you wish to check out some earlier Van Morrison, check out Van Morrison when he was with this band called Them. It's one of his earlier bands, and this is a good album too. Here Comes the Night. Now some trivia from the time, 1970. The big movies were Airport and MASH. You all remember those? MASH they eventually made into a TV series. The big song was Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. And here's sort of a weird trivia. Samsung began selling electronics in 1970. Now before that, they originally sold noodles. I didn't know that. But that's very interesting. And a big board game at the time, not a big board game, but it was released in 1970, was a game called Mastermind. Now, Mastermind was a two-player game, which was a code-breaking game. But I'm going to show you a game that we just recently started playing, and it's called Onitama. An elegant and simple game of martial tactics. Now that would be the martial arts. And it was created by a man named Shimpai Sato. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the closest I can get. And it says, carved in the crags of the mist-shrouded mountains of ancient Japan lies the ancient shrine of Onitama. Masters of the arts journey there, and their most promising disciples to prove their superiority in battle. Now, if you can see the player board and the players there, it's a two-player game, and this is kind of a relative of chess and checkers, I would say, but this is much simpler. One game of this lasts between 10 and 20 minutes. And going by these cards here, you each get 2 cards each with a different move on it that you can make. Altogether, you're dealt 5 cards out of this little pile, and you rotate them around the board as you're playing, and you all get to play these moves here. It's a very simple game to learn. You're not sitting for hours and hours trying to figure out chess and all that type of stuff. You can pick this up in probably 3 to 5 minutes and you're playing. That's what I like about it. And this is a very fun game. Check out Onitama. It even has a phone application, a game application if you want to look at that. And that's all I got for tonight, and that's my video. Thanks for checking in, and I'll see you guys later. Colin, over and out, and Weirdos Unite.